Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour, brought to you by Trio Jazz Club, Sioux Falls Premiere Jazz Club. Enter as friends, leave as family. Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, Chasers Food and Spirits, Excel Chiropractic, Quality Nails, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment Conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Thank you, Zach. Welcome, everyone. Happy Father's Day weekend. That also includes a Friday the 13th. I'm hoping the show mascot, Sir Charles Emerson David of Firefly, our soon-to-be one-year-old puppy, gives me a Daddy Day card, maybe signed with a little paw print. All right. Often at the start of the show, I mentioned welcome to both regular listeners and those listening for the first time. I'm guessing there might be more new listeners than usual, as all of today's guests are making their first appearance. And here's what it includes. Later in the hour, we hear from the new local rock band Redmaker as they get ready to release their new single, Boring, tomorrow, Friday the 13th. In a few minutes, we talk with the Premiere Playhouse actors Ben Van Moer and Kelsey Baade. They are cast members of TPP's 9 to 5, the musical, which opens tonight. Those conversations coming up. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
It doesn't matter what you toast with, as we all have different tastes, different times of the day that we're listening and so forth. And me, of course, as I put this together, I'm having my usual Jasper Newton. That's Jack Daniels, Diet Coke with a lime. You might be drinking water, milk, coffee, tea, beer, wine, or champagne. That all comes in different types of glassware, doesn't it? Well, whatever your beverage of choice is, lift it high and toast to the Downtown Sioux Falls organization. It was DTSF's monthly First Friday. This past Friday, we were down for another event and went out to eat as well. But I tell you what, the streets were bustling. It was like a scene in a movie. And, just looking down Phillips Avenue and all the people walking on both sides, it reminded me of, some old-time film. But people also seem to be in generally good spirits. That's always a plus. Perhaps that's due to Downtown Sioux Falls. It was fun to see the excitement. So cheers to you, Downtown Sioux Falls. The Weekend Eve Toast is brought to you by Chasers, West 12th and Ellis Road. Stop in for great food, great beverages, and fun times. And that fun includes Monday nights at 7, the Dave Holly Hour Trivia. On Monday, June 16th, the theme is Old School Games. Again, Dave Holly Hour Trivia out at Chasers on West 12th and Ellis Road, which brings you the Weekend Eve Toast. Honorable mention. What made Dave laugh, chuckle, chortle, downright slap my knee silly, or even shed happy tears of joy recently? As part of Pride Month, the Goodnight Theater Collective's Pride 25 Cabaret was absolutely high energy, open to close. Several of us, though, that are of a certain age walked out saying the same thing. Even though I really didn't know many of the songs, the music was great. And that was helped out by a live band. Man, it made that music come to life. And then the vocalists, just absolutely top notch. Well done, GNTC. Later in the show, we'll be speaking with Morgn Harris, Sam DiVito, and Kyule Dowling of Red Makers. In just a few minutes, it's 9 to 5 The Musicals, Ben Van Moer and Kelsey Baade. It's all ahead on the Dave Holly Hour. Trio Jazz Club is an intimate music venue in the heart of Sioux Falls. It's family-owned and family-run. Ricardo and Mary Beth and the entire staff provide the art of hospitality, while the best local and regional musicians provide the smooth sounds. It's a great vibe with live music Tuesday through Saturday nights. The chefs and mixologists offer an amazing menu and beer and wine lists. Cocktails as smooth as the jazz. Join the club, Trio Jazz Club, across from the Washington Pavilion. Enter as friends, leave as family. A celebration of the diverse colors of our lives describes True Colors. That's in the Rotational Art Gallery at Serendipity Studio in downtown Sioux Falls. Powerful exhibition celebrating the strength, identity, and uniqueness of life. This show seeks to honor the diverse experiences of each of us, seen and unseen, spoken and unspoken, throughout visual storytelling, emotion, and creative expression. Enjoy it in the historic Shriver Square building. Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, downtown Sioux Falls.
Time for more arts and entertainment talk on the Dave Holly Hour.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, it's in my contract. I wrote the contract. I also wrote this a little bit, too, that it's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. And it's always a pleasure to have new guests on. And finally, after 279 episodes, Ben Van Moer is in the studio. How are you, Ben?
I'm good. How are you?
Glad to have you here.
Yes,
it's good to see you. I know it's been a long time. It's been one of those that after every show I see you and, hey, gotta get you. And then things pile up, and all of a sudden. And then you even reached out to me, which was ironic because your name's on a slip back on that, right next to the calendar.
Yeah.
And then you said, well, can I bring Kelsey Baade along with me? Well, sure. Since you're both big parts of the cast of, okay, to avoid any copyright. See, because if I worked at a radio station and we had the rights to it,
yes,
that'd have been in the background already.
Yeah.
All right, so 9 to 5 tonight is opening night.
Yes.
Jitters?
A few.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, there always seems to be, even if you're really, really comfortable in something.
Yeah.
Because when you get to that point, sometimes something happens and it throws you off a little bit.
Well, yeah, even, last night at rehearsal, some things went differently and we're like, oh, that doesn't happen.
Before, yeah.
So, yeah.
I love how that happens.
Yeah, but I think that's also the joy of live theater.
Very true, yeah.
It's
So 9 to 5. Everybody's familiar with that song, and it's one of those, I think I first heard it in 1978, maybe 77.
Yeah,
1977 it came out, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And people love it. What are they going to love about the musical?
Ooh, I think the story, if you know anything about the movie, 9 to 5, the story is very similar to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you are a fan of the movie, you're going to be a fan of the show, the musical. And I think the musical itself, the music is kind of the core subject. It's just such good music.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you love the song 9 to 5, you're going to love just Change It and all of the other songs that are in the musical.
So how many songs are in it then?
Ooh, that is a wonderful question.
Yeah.
At least 13, 14,
Yeah.
something like
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
There's a lot in Act 1.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then Act 1 is a lot. And then Act 2, it just kind of goes song, then
Done.
it's the finale. So, and so I think there's a lot of just really good music, and we have such a great ensemble that they are just killing it. So, yeah.
All right. So did Dolly write the whole musical?
She wrote the music
for it.
Yes.
and then somebody else wrote the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, that's going to be good music for sure, right?
yeah.
And talk about an American icon
Mhm.
that people just absolutely adore. And so I can't imagine that anyone would come away going, Dolly, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
She always does well. Kelsey, what drew you to being, well, first of all, which role did you get then?
I am Judy Burnley.
Mhm.
So, yeah, she's one of the 3 leading ladies. And her storyline is really, really great. She starts off very shy and not confident in herself. And then by the end, she gains that confidence.
Mhm.
And so her story arc is just really, really cool. And it's been really, really fun to play. So,
And what drew you to auditioning for this?
honestly, I did not know it was a show. I didn't know it was a musical. And then when I saw, the Premiere Playhouse was going to put it on, I just decided it's a really good time this time is really good in my busy schedule.
Right.
School is out. I'm a teacher. And so it allows a little bit more extra time. And so, I auditioned last year at the same time and then this year. So that was kind of, I guess, the
hooray
motivation
for summer,
behind
huh?
it. Yeah, right. Exactly. Summer is here. I've got all the time in the world.
Uh-huh.
Let's go perform.
Are
So,
you anticipating some of your students coming to watch it?
I don't know. I teach middle school and it's right on that, right on that.
PG-13-ish and so forth. Yeah.
Maybe my 8th grader is going to be freshman, but yeah. We'll
Yeah,
see.
there you go. Just a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
What got you into music to begin with? To become a music teacher, educator? What's the driving force behind you?
I think I've always loved music and just always wanted to teach, and it was my favorite subject in school all the time.
Mhm.
And so I was provided a lot of really great opportunities in school, and I wanted to also provide those opportunities to students myself. So
Right. Yeah.
that's kind of what drew me to music education.
All right. Ben, you're also a music educator.
I am, yes.
Yeah. And what do you tell your students? Because you teach a wider variety of ages.
Yeah.
What do you tell them about how to audition, how to get to a musical point?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
I'm
I think
2 for 2 today on
No,
good questions. Wow.
honestly, I'm the head theater director at my school, and so I do a lot of like auditioning
Mhm.
workshops and stuff like that. And I've actually had several students go out and audition for some region or some local community theaters. 2 of my students were performing with the Goodnight Theater Collective this year. One of them just got a Sioux Falls Stage Award nomination.
Aha.
So pretty excited about that. We are really like hopeful that the audition process is kind of a not as nerve-wracking
Mhm.
as sometimes it can be. And so we try to make it as chill and as fun as we possibly can. I base my auditions at school around some of the companies that I've worked with, TPP, Goodnight, Spotlight Theater Company. I think there's an aspect of my audition process that I take from each of those organizations that I have found that works well. So we try to make it as relaxed as we possibly can so that they don't freak out and they don't get so nervous about it. And then when they go to these bigger auditions for, the Premiere Playhouse or Goodnight or whatever company it is, they can go in with some kind of confidence.
Right.
And so far it's been working. So
Okay.
the kids go, yeah, the audition was nerve-wracking, but it wasn't too bad. I think I did well. So yeah.
Awesome. Is this the part that you wanted? When you saw this come out,
Yeah.
did you say, okay,
Yeah,
I got this one?
It is. I love playing the villain. I think it is such a fun role because I'm not in no way am
Right.
I anything like Franklin Hart, and so it's fun to just kind of let go of Ben and really dive into Frank. And there's a moment backstage that Kelsey and I have, and I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but there's a moment where we make an entrance and it's right after her big number, and I have my arm around her and I just give her a squeeze and I go, I love you, just remember this is acting. And we do it every night, and it's one of my favorite backstage moments. So.
Oh, love hearing stories
Yeah.
like that about what goes on in addition to what we see
Yeah.
on the stage.
Mhm.
And of course, what we see on the stage, TPP pretty well just throw up the baseball, get out the bat,
Yeah.
and no curveballs or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's out of the park.
Yeah.
And this obviously is, at least from early indications, setting up to be a great musical and a great show. Once again, for TPP, starts tonight. What's our run?
We go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then a Sunday matinee this weekend, and then next week.
And the next weekend, same schedule.
Same
for it.
schedule.
Awesome. How many weeks of rehearsal have you had?
We've gone since April 15th.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
file your taxes audition.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. I don't know why it sticks in my brain, but yeah, I think it was around that time.
Yeah, it was around that time.
So when you go into your audition after, having so much experience, first of all, and then also teaching students how to go into an audition, what do you feel you bring to a show?
Oh,
Am I 3 for 3 on
I think you're 3 for 3, Dave. Mark that on the calendar.
Yeah,
That's good.
red letter day.
See, and like I was nervous. And so I went into my audition a little terrified, and the callback was also a little terrifying because I haven't really had like a audition in a long time. And so I have experience in theater and stuff like that, but I haven't had to prove myself in a while. And so and like knowing that I have a reputation in the community, I was like, okay, I have to show up. Like I have to go in and do this. And then actually I was sick during the callback.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, okay, this is gonna be fine. And and I just so I think my attitude and my perseverance to just kind of push through that sickness also kind of showed in my callback. So but there were so many good people in the callbacks that were not cast, and so there's a lot of things that I went, well, they're definitely going to get that over me, or stuff like that. And I'm sure you felt the same way.
That wonderful doubt that creeps in. Yeah. So when it comes to you, Kelsey, what is do you have like a key to an audition?
Well, it had been so long. I hadn't done a show in 10 years until last year.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's the thing I tell my students is like, have fun, you're going to leave and just try to have fun. And then when I get in there, I'm like, that's out the window. Cause I am a nervous wreck. Because, it's like once you get a role, you're like, okay, I earned this and I have a little bit more confidence. But when you're trying to prove yourself, like you were saying, it's just like, it's a lot of pressure and it's tough. But just try to give it all you got.
You started mid-April. At what point did you have to be off book?
Oh, it was quick.
It was quick. It was like
very beginning of May.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember because I was overlapping with the Sound of Music at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I would go to Sound of Music rehearsals, and then on my off days for Sound of Music, I was at 9 to 5 rehearsals. And so there was a lot of I got to a rehearsal once, and our director Brittany and Abby, they were like, "Oh yeah, just a reminder, next week is off book for Act 1." And I was like, "What?" What do you mean? And I just I'm way more involved in Act 1 than I am in Act 2. And so when Act 1 off book was pretty much my off book day. And so I was freaking out. And I mean, as everyone knows, off book is not something to necessarily be nervous about, because it's not like they're going to fire you, if you don't get the right thing. But it was a little terrifying.
Yeah. So. You get stuck. You can always yell that one fine word.
Yes.
Fine.
Exactly.
Kelsey, what do you enjoy about working with Ben?
Ooh, great question.
The quad 4 for 4 today.
Yeah, it's been so wonderful to get to know him. And it's great to have a colleague as well, outside of theater that I didn't even know,
Yeah.
So I've only been in Sioux Falls or even South Dakota for 3 years. So it's great to build that, that friendship. And but it just, I feel like it's been really easy to work with you, and just, it's just a really good friendship, I think.
Yeah.
It's just really
it's fun
natural
to talk music, and
Yes.
get away from, the theater stuff and talk choir stuff,
Yeah.
for a little bit. So,
And it's always nice when you've got a friendship, and that always helps lead to the chemistry
Yes,
that people have on
exactly.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where were you before South Dakota?
In Iowa.
Whereabouts?
Before Sioux Falls, I was in Sibley, Iowa.
Oh, the Generals.
Yep.
Okay.
And then before that, I was down in Southwest Iowa, kind of like Omaha, Council Bluffs area.
Oh, yeah.
On the Iowa side of things. So I'm from Eastern Iowa, but yeah, so I've kind of moved around a
Yeah.
little bit.
I'm from Northwest Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Hop, skip, and a jump, Rock Rapids.
Got you. Okay.
Wrestled many times in Sibley.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people know. Yeah, a lot of people know Sibley
Yeah,
when I
all
talk
right.
about it. So
When it comes to preparing, like for tonight, it's going to be the opening night. What time do you start getting into character?
for me, like I guess I don't really have like a half an hour before I got to go into a dark room, and like I don't do any of that.
Mhm.
I think for me it's I need to like mentally prepare, but like get like physically like ready and mentally ready and all that stuff. And then as I'm walking up from the dressing room to make my first like entrance, that's when I really like click and like get into that Franklin Hart, mindset. And so it takes me a few like little things. I always love to just like stand in the wings, like the scene before, watch what's happening. That kind of gets me into it. And so, yeah, it doesn't take me a whole long time to like, I don't have a whole process or anything like that, but, I have to like take a breath right before I go on. Otherwise it will not go well.
yeah.
Any rituals for you?
I think getting into costume is really like, it's just like a transformation. You see yourself in that character. Putting a wig on is like,
Right. Yeah.
What?
Something that actually physically changes. your
yes. Yeah.
appearance.
And I think that just helps kind of make that whole thing. It all brings it all together. It just clicks. But yeah, definitely just taking, especially in the very beginning of the opening number, I don't come in until maybe 3/4 the way through, and I'm just sitting there, standing backstage. Everybody's on stage, and I'm just like, just telling myself it's going to be good. It's all going to be fine. Trying to give myself a pep talk and like, let's go do this and have fun.
Yeah.
Biggest thing, just enjoy it and have fun.
All right. And who else is the leading ladies?
Jessica Ashton is
Love her.
Violet Newstead. Yep. And then Summer Van no. Oh my gosh, what's Summer's last name?
Summer. Look,
Summer.
She earned her Madonna name already.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, she's just Summer. She is Dorley Rhodes, and yeah, the three of us. I feel like we've really clicked too. I knew Summer from before, but getting to know Jessica has been great. And yeah, I just feel like everybody's roles really fit.
Yeah.
It just really.
Does Jessica have to wear a wig?
She does
She's
not.
not.
I
No.
was going to say that hair can be anything, can it? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So who else do we have on the cast that you want to bring up? And then we also need to talk about the staff, who's directing. And I'm sure Bob Nelson's the mic wrangler.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. We love Bob.
Yep.
Let's see who else is in the cast. Jessica Williams is playing Roz, who is in love with Franklin Hart,
Right.
and she steals the show.
She's phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
It is
such a joy.
it is like my favorite moment. I'm not on stage, but her song kills me every time, and the audience is you guys are not ready. Like she just is so funny. Like her physical humor,
Yes.
and just like her voice for one,
Yes.
is phenomenal. And then just like what she can do acting wise while she's belting out these tones is insane. So I think she's the one that I think people aren't going to expect and then be like, okay.
So you're saying curtain call, there will be a particular spot where all of a sudden, it roars a little more.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, that's always fun when you get those. That's such a great part of it. How do you two play differently than the stars of the movie that we all are familiar with?
I think in the movie, he like I don't know. I guess I think he is a little bit more gosh, I don't know. Like I want to say I'm a little bit more immature in my approach to it.
Okay.
He feels like he's been doing this a long time, and kind of in my like character analysis, I guess, like my character has, and there's a line that Violet says at the very beginning where like he is like jumped to become president quicker than anyone else. So in my head, I feel like he is a younger boss, and so I kind of play him a little bit more immature, and I feel like in the movie the guy that plays Frank is like a mature, he's been there a while kind of guy, so I think that's where I differ.
Yeah.
I would say I think Judy is a little bit more confident in the movie, and I think in the musical I feel like she second guesses herself a lot more. And I feel like I play into that. I lean into that because that's a very natural thing for me to do anyway. It's not really, it's not hard to like act that out. But I feel like that is a big difference from the movie. She kind of is the one that is level headed for like the whole thing. And I feel like in the musical, I'm more, I don't know, panicky and like second guessing everything that I do until the end where I do gain some more confidence. But yeah.
All right, who are the directors?
Brittany Lewis and Abby Schweedhelm. I can never say her last name correct. And they are co-directing this production, and I think that they've actually done a really nice job, like combining how they direct. And I was talking to Abby about this the other day, and she was like, yeah, Brittany has this like backstage knowledge and has done a lot of backstage sort of things. So Brittany's very technical when it comes to her approach with things, and Abby's a little bit more like actor minded, and so like vision of like, oh, it would be really cool if the actors did this.
Well, for one thing, I've been on stage with her, and she has an incredible smile. Yeah, that every time she's on stage, it just glows. Yeah, and Brittany, she was director in a show that I was in, and so know her approach and so forth. Is she also doing the costuming?
She is. Yes.
I kind of figured that. Yeah. And what about tech people? Give props to anybody for sound.
Our wonderful stage manager Michelle is amazing.
She is
and keeps us in line. And, and she just had a baby, so how she is doing this and like, you know, is kind of insane. But we're kind of a rowdy cast, I would say. So she's trying to give announcements and like talk to us, and we're all just like, oh, blah 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 blah, talking. And so sometimes we have to be like, hey, Michelle's talking. So thank you to Michelle for keeping us like grounded.
All right, looking forward to it. Again, it opens tonight, and so it runs tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon for a matinee. Same schedule next weekend. Yes. So a 2-weekend run. That's excellent. What is it that draws you to TPP in general?
Ooh. Do you want me to go first?
Well, you had said, you know, it hadn't been.
I think what I did when I moved to Sioux Falls was typed into Google Sioux Falls Community Theater, and there you go.
There it was. All right. And that's where I'm headed.
Yeah. And
directions.
Like I said, this is the great time to do it just without, you know, school being out and things. And so I didn't do it my first year living here. And that, I just, and then I've just really enjoyed it. I've felt welcomed. I've made so many friends, and just, I feel like people, like I got married in October, and people from Hair, I was like, I just met you 5 months ago, but you need to be at my wedding. Like, please, like, you know, it's just really, really great. It feels just so welcoming, and I am so thankful for that.
Yeah, and one of the things that gets mentioned on this show often is the theater or arts in general, entertainment family that you get. And especially with theater, it seems to be even a little bit more of this closeness, and you get to learn so much about each other throughout the process.
Yes.
And then, you know, you do another show and your family just keeps growing.
Yeah.
So Ben's probably got a couple hundred on the list.
Yeah. My family's pretty big. Yeah.
What draws you to shows with TPP and also a good night theater?
Yeah. I just, this whole community, is a wonderful community, and we are so like loving and welcoming. And I think when I first moved to Sioux Falls, there was kind of a division between some companies, and I feel like that has that has totally gone out the window. We're very supportive of everyone, and so that's why I feel like right now there is such a great crossover between all of our companies. You know, you go to a Monstrous Little Theater show and you see Alex Newcomb-Weiland performing in a show, who is a staff member at the Premiere Playhouse. Or you go to a Goodnight show and you see TPP people, and you see Goodnight people crossing over to the Premiere Playhouse. And so I think that just in general, this whole community is so open and welcoming that it makes it a place that you want to go and you want to do shows. Like, I would love to do a show with Monstrous Little Theater Company, or I would love to go to Old Town and do a run there. You know, like, just all of these experiences. I haven't gone to a theater show in this community in a long time and left and be like, that was awful. I hated every minute. You know, I haven't had that. And so, you know, there's just really good theater going on in this community, and it's a blast.
And the quantity of talent we have is amazing.
Yeah.
And then add that on to the quality of the artists that we have. It just blows me away. I keep thinking of it, you know, having grown up down in Rock Rapids. And, well, first of all, when I first got my license and could drive up here, the population sign was 86,000. And at that time, as a 16-year-old, the only arts you found, movie theaters.
Right.
And then maybe once a year, the family would go to the symphony for the Christmas concert. And that was about it.
Yeah.
And nobody knew of all the other things going on. They were, but you just weren't aware of them. Yeah. And now, you know, we've got such a base that we can shout things out anytime, and at least people know that it's going on. Their bigger problem right now is, which one do I go to?
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, and if you're an event planner, because I do that on a few things, and you're sitting there going, well, we can't do it that weekend because of, we can't do it that weekend. No. Here's how you decide what date you're going to do something on. You get out a big cork board and you put the entire year up on there, and then you take one dart.
Yeah. There it is.
There we go. That's the day we're doing this.
Yeah, literally.
But such great thought goes into everything, and so happy to get to know each of you a little bit more. And now, as first-time guests, you get the first-time guest question at the end of the show. How you answer the first one determines whether we answer the second one.
Okay.
All right. So, Ben, we'll go with you. Let's start off with, when you're not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Ooh, okay. I'm kind of a big sports guy. Like, not many people would kind of know that, but, and I'm a big South Dakota State University Jackrabbit fan.
Yeah.
So, I love going to SDSU, like football, volleyball games. And my family is a big SDSU, family. We have a tailgating trailer and everything.
Oh my goodness.
So,
all out.
We do. We go kind of all out. And so, that's I love going to support my alma mater in kind of anything, you know. Their theater program up there is great too, but I know that we're not supposed to talk theater right now. So, but I would say going to like anything SDSU, like football, basketball, volleyball, anything like that. That's kind of what I do. So,
any hobbies?
I really like to cook.
Go-to dish?
I'm a true Midwestern tater tot casserole.
Yes.
It's so good. It's so good. It's hard to mess that up for one. But it's just
and you don't have to use any French words.
No. Yeah. So, yeah.
Excellent. I love it. All right, Kelsey, then tell us, when you're not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
I mean, my first thought goes to movies. I love horror movies. Scary movies are like my favorite thing. I decided this summer I want to do like scary movie mornings. So like once a week, I'm going to like go through like a whole list of scary movies. Because, you know, why not? I've got the time. I feel like that's, like a big entertainment. I also love, but go Iowa Hawkeyes. I gotta give a little.
There you go. All right.
I also do love to watch. That's like, you know, that's my big team.
All right. Have you ever listened to Screams from the Basement podcast? A couple of local guys that have been on the show several times each. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, I should look.
So take that in. All right. What about other hobbies?
I also like to cook.
What's your go-to dish then?
I love Thai. I love cooking like with curry. Yeah, like I love experimenting with like Thai dishes. My husband likes to cook Indian. I think different cuisines are super fun to try, to attempt to get as close to authentic as possible. So I think it's a stress relief. Like at the end of a stressful day, it's like go pick up ingredients and then come home and like just do the whole thing, do it right. So, but yeah, reading when I can and
other than scripts.
Right.
Or music.
Right. Right.
All right. Well, it's been so great getting to know both of you. So Ben Van Moer, thank you. And Kelsey Baade, thank you. Certainly appreciate you taking time to be on the show. And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment. Here's the lineup for the weekend at Trio Jazz Club at 6:30 tonight. It's the Pete Hazen Quartet with that dynamic performance with Pete on the drums. A new local bluegrass band, Tomahawk County, has 2 shows, 6:30 and 9 Friday night. Ready to tour and bring the blues to the youth is 15-year-old Bodie Lindy from deep in the Black Hills. Plays Saturday night at 6:30 and 9. For tickets as well as more information about upcoming shows, go online at triojazzclub.com. You'll even find an announcement there about their first anniversary coming up.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or xochiros.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
People ask him where he got his top shelf voice. Dime store? Bargain. Once again, here's Dave Holly.
Welcome back, everyone. It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. Boy, in terms of new guests for this episode, I hit the damn thing out of the park, didn't I? Had 2 new ones in the first conversation. Now we bring in a new local rock band. We don't get to say that too often. We'll have like a new local group. We'll have a new local such and such. It's been a while since we've ever said rock band. And I am looking forward to talking about all of you guys that make up the new band Red Maker. And you're all first-time guests here, so welcome, first of all. Great to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and you know what is so fun is, every time we get new guests, I keep adding to the list. It's a strange way that a podcast works. Because you guys will share it and so forth, and your friends and your family will listen to it, and they might just go, wonder what that first episode was ever like. And then they'll go back almost weekly. Episode number 1 still gets a download.
Oh, man.
Cool thing. But we are here to talk about your single that drops. And, of course, we're recording this on Tuesday, but it's actually Thursday that the show comes out. And your single, Boring, comes out on Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Was that planned?
No, that's just our luck, man. That's just how that goes.
All right. And you are Morgn Harris.
Yes, I am.
Yes, and you are vocals and guitar.
Yep.
All right. Also with us is Sam DiVito on drums. And we have Kyule Dowling, lead guitar. Welcome as well.
Thank you.
And we're missing a Mason, your brother.
Yeah,
Mason
Moose
Harris.
isn't able to make it out today.
Moose?
Yeah, Moose.
Oh, damn, I missed a good nickname guy. He's a bass player, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
killer
bass
one.
player doesn't show up.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm surprised that the Sam was on time, because the old joke that I always hear is a drummer ever on beat? Does he come in on time?
Yeah.
It's so great to have you all here. And so, first of all, the song Boring.
Yep.
I've listened to it already, and, well, it's anything but.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My favorite way to say it.
Yeah, because it is a hard rocking song. There's no doubt about that, and fun to have that so different. And, of course, local guys, local producer, and local publishing company for it with Crazy Poet Records and Mark Dom in his studio. So, David Pendry putting you guys in touch with me. Thank you, David. And such great guys anyway. And
the best, man.
Yeah, and Dom in that studio. That man can come up with anything, can he?
He really can.
What types of things did he tell you about this song that, well, getting rid of this, we had this, and how easy was he to work with?
Oh, he was pretty easy to work with, especially when he was out cold with all the drinks that we were doing. We were able to do a lot of stuff on our own.
Is my bottle of Jack Daniels still alive out there?
Hardly, man. Hardly.
Yeah, I better get out there again.
No, he's been nothing but helpful and supportive, trying to help us get the exact sound that we want.
Right.
It's crazy to think that we met someone who's just as passionate about our own tunes as we are, and he tells us, like, he keeps himself up at night trying to think of how he can make our stuff sound better. And man, he's accomplished that. He's kind of become like the fifth Beatle.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit, first of all, about the makeup of the band and how you guys got together and how you became Red Maker. What's the story behind that title or group?
Me and Sam, we met way back in the day in high school, and it was one of those things where we were always at each other's houses, just sharing records and making goofy ass songs, and then of course high school ends and everybody goes their separate ways like you're supposed to do. And one day we just run into each other at a Slayer show. And I'm like, well, man, I just moved back to the area. What are you up to? Like, I just lost my band. I'm like, well, that's a perfect time for us to start getting together and jam. And we ended up writing a couple songs, just us two. We've learned how to record on our own because we started at the best time you could ever start a band at the end of 2019. Yeah. So nobody was doing anything.
Right.
So we're just sitting there writing songs. We're learning how to record our own stuff. And at some point, we finally get to do shows. It was only the two of us forever. We're like, White Stripes did it. We could do it too. I'm sure it sounded like gold when we were doing that. And then eventually Kyle hit us up. He was from a band that him and Sam were in before, a glam band called Duel. Shout out to Duel.
Yeah, I was just chilling on my couch one day and I'm like, what am I doing? Just hanging out, not playing music. So I gave Sam a call and I'm like, you should let me join your band, man. He's like, I don't know. Like, we don't really want shredding guitar solos and stuff. It's kind of more of an indie band. So I got in there and started doing shredded guitar solos.
Oh yeah, he did it anyways.
And Sam, is this story that you're hearing from these two pretty correct on everything?
I'd say it's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, even though we weren't super jazzed about a lot of Van Halen-esque shredding on the lead guitars, I think it helps define our sound. It's all the different influences that really make us who we are.
How long have you been playing drums?
Probably since I was 17 in high school.
Wow. Yeah.
So I just...
And now you're what, 25?
We don't need to say my age on the air, but
trust me, you're all beating spades.
You're close. You're close.
All right. So, Kyle, it sounds like maybe you had a lot of influences in some popular groups that were out there.
Yeah. So my dad actually listened to all like the 80s glam bands and stuff like that. And he always used to play them in the car, when we were driving around when I was younger. So I got a really good taste for Van Halen. One of my personal favorites is like Skid Row and White Lion. The guitarists for both of those bands are just insane and really big influences of mine. So it's just fun to listen to them, fun to try to pick apart what they do. And I don't know, man, it's just something about it.
Okay. In terms of a guitarist, then, an idol or somebody that you really heard and that particular guitarist made you go, wow, this is what I got to be doing.
That would be the one from Skid Row. Scotty Hill from Skid Row was like one of my idols growing up. It was just, I remember he had this blue guitar and just like the way he looked on stage, so he's a shredder. I love him. Yeah.
Oh, I liked the way that a lot of people looked on stage too, but at one point I got up to 420 pounds. That just didn't work. People say, "Why 420?" Oh, well, there was something behind Munchies.
Yeah, never heard that one before.
Right.
All right. So, Morgn, you did mention the great word indie. And I have a nephew down in Nashville that's in 2 different indie bands. And so it's always great to hear stuff coming in, because for myself, actually, I still listen to quite a bit of those glam bands.
Oh, yeah.
80s and so forth.
It's stuff still holds up.
Yeah. Because there's some music that just is kind of timeless and multi-generational.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, so you put together the indie. So does this mean that at the end of the show today, I can actually play the song?
If you could allow a couple F-bombs on, then absolutely.
We'll just put on there. It's, at the end, you will experience some explicit language. That's the way they like it. Yeah, because the whole copyright thing.
Yeah.
Man, that's earlier we were talking about the musical 9 to 5, and so I whistled.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not breaking any copyright laws there, are we, guys?
They're going to try, though.
Yeah. Who wrote Boring?
I did. I ended up running across a guitar riff that I was really, really gelling with, and I played with it forever and could never find anything to do with it. And one day I just finally pieced together some parts, sent it to the guys. I'm like, I know you can do something better with this than I can, but I really feel like we got something cool here. And everybody was kind of like, yeah, it's all right. And I thought, what the hell? I just made a badass song and nobody's saying anything about it. And then we bring it to Mark and he's like, Boring is my favorite song that you guys brought in. We got to put that one out first. And then suddenly everybody's like, yeah, that's a pretty good song, man. I can't wait to do that
one. Does that mean that we have an album coming out as well? An EP?
Yep.
EP.
Yep. We were going in originally to record an EP with Mark Dom. Funny enough, we were going in to record an EP to pitch out to labels. We were like, let's put together our best material. Felt confident that we were going to get some interest out of it. We just didn't know it was going to be like 2 hours into recording.
We just had the drum tracks down.
Yeah.
And Mark was like, I got a label. Why don't we just go ahead and do this?
Exactly.
There may or may not have been massive amounts of whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
In that decision.
I'm not a betting man, but I'm going to put it on May.
I'd say the spirits definitely led us the right direction.
Amazing how they can bring lyrics to the top, too. Isn't it? Yeah. I always say you got to have just a little nip, if nothing else, so that you can loosen up, get ready, get creative.
Oh, yeah. Open up.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Sam, what did recording during COVID teach you? What did you learn from that experience to build into what you guys have now?
I'd say it taught us a lot, because when we were first recording, we were actually recording after hours in just an empty warehouse, basically.
Yeah.
We had the garage door open to try to reduce the reverb, and it was just whatever mics we had laying around and a laptop. And we went from that to an apartment to a basement. And I'd say we learned a lot. And I think what we've put out shows that, as far as what we put out independently. But man, compared to what we're learning now in in the studio with Mark Dom, he's such a professional, and he knows all the little nuances that we would have never known.
Yeah, and what a great last name. He's got a damn good business. He's a damn good producer. Yeah. Guy's just a damn good guy all around.
He really
is.
All right, so Kyle, when did you get interested in joining this band? Because you said that you weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
You call him up, say, hey, I want to be in your band.
It was, what release was it? I think it was before Bitch came out, and I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play guitar again with anybody in a live setting. And obviously I knew Sam, and he was, you know, gigging around with Morgn. So I said, this is probably a good opportunity to get in and start playing again.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been great ever since.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So Morgn, tell me, where do you expect all this to go? What's besides just always having gigs to go to, having fun, what else is on the agenda for it?
I mean, man, compared to where we started to where we're at now, it's just been exponential growth, and that's just pretty much the plan so far. Just keep on learning and keep on trying out new things. We try out a lot of things that we don't see a lot of other people doing, and that's definitely risk and reward, but we've been rewarded quite a bit for our efforts. And
basically what you're saying is we want to get rich and we want to play like Wembley Stadium and US Bank Stadium.
Yeah, that's the bucket list process.
By the end of the summer, or?
Yeah, we could do that.
The sooner the better. I got other stuff to do after that, you know?
And many bills to pay too. All right, so I always ask this of a guitarist. And Morgn, you also play guitar, so, and then I'll come around to you, Sam, and throw the same question just with drums. How many guitars do you own?
Oh my God. Go to Morgn quick. I got to count.
And I do too.
And how many do these spouses know about?
6, 7, 8.
I'm going to say, I can't even think of them all. I'm probably on the 12 to 15 spectrum.
I'm at 11 if you count banjos and basses.
Yep.
I know 3 Fender Strats, 1 Strat with Floyd Rose. The other 2 are just, you know, hardtail. But those are ones I play the most. So at least 3.
I'm a dumpster collector. People are just like, I don't want it anymore. You want it? I'm like, sure. And now I just got a stockpile of guitars that hardly work and hard as hell to play, and I'm like, one day I'll fix them all.
Yeah, I'll get around to that. Yeah, after I've played Wembley.
Yeah, pretty much.
That list. Okay, Sam, how many drum sets?
So I just have 3. And I
nothing
guess
to be ashamed of. You're saying it like, well,
I have
only.
I have my first kit, which was like a Craigslist 60s percussion plus. I played that for like the first year, and then my Gretsch Energy that actually came as an 8-piece with 2 kicks, 3 rack toms, and 2 floor toms that I played in the 80s outfit for a bit with. But now I play a Gretsch Renown, so that's been my main one ever since I got it, and there's not a lot of space for drums. So
that 8-piece, man, you talk about space. That 8-piece took up a lot of space.
Yeah,
Great.
it sure did.
When it was just the 2 of us, we were able to load up more.
Right, but
it looked cool, dude, but it's hard to move.
Yeah, there's some pictures out there of early Red Maker, and I'm still playing that double kick. Just taking up all the space.
7 symbols.
Yeah. All right, so where can people see you gig? What you been playing around here?
Man, what is our schedule for the summer? We are all over the place.
You want me to run through it?
Yeah,
I got it locked in my
head, man.
So we just played. We played the Icon about a month or so ago. We just played the Den, which is a new venue in town. They're doing great stuff for the scene. So this weekend we are doing a Minneapolis trip. More so Minnesota, because we're playing twice in St. Paul.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday. Thursday, Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday and Friday in St. Paul. I don't even know the dates. And then Saturday. And then Saturday in Rochester. And then we come back. July, we do Fargo, Bismarck, Rapid City. And then in August, all we have so far is the Four Winds Fest.
Okay.
At the beginning of August. But we're working on shows in the fall and stuff, but nothing too official.
Right.
So.
Always busy.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it keeps you going and keeps you creative too. So what are the new songs in your brain then?
We got 4 more that we're gonna be looking at releasing here soon. We've got 2 that we've been jamming on for years now that people have been bothering us left and right to get out. I think one of them is going to be our next single. And yeah, they're just a bunch of hard-hitting, catchy shredness tracks that we could possibly put together. We were trying to put together something to impress, and I think we've more than nailed that in the studio.
Yeah. Did you have any other guys in the studio at all, or just the three of you?
Well, obviously Moose. We forgot about him.
yeah.
We haven't been talking about him. Where's he been at?
What's that? Mason guy?
Dude, he impressed me. So he joined the band and really never played bass before.
Nope.
And we needed a bass player because we were a 3-piece. And we said, Morgan, don't you have a brother who kind of plays bass, you know? And he's like, yeah. And then he ended up moving back to Sioux Falls and just picked up the bass, ran with it. And he's just amazing. He's unbelievable what he can do. He's not your standard bass player either, right?
No.
So he doesn't play like the root notes and stuff, but just in Redmaker, we're all kind of lead players, whether it's lead guitar, obviously lead vocals, but you have some pretty sick riffs.
Yeah, I try to show off once in a while.
Sam's lead drummer, just banging on those cymbals all the time.
Yeah, Moose, his first show with us was his very first show ever. When he was out and living in the cities, I told him, when you move back, you're going to join my band. And then he's like, all right, I'm moving back. I'm like, all right, you're joining the band. And I told these two, like, my brother's moving back. He's joining the band. And then eventually everybody was like, you know, you didn't really ask us if you wanted that to happen. And I'm usually a pretty democratic guy. Like, even if I like my idea and I'm pretty set on it, I'm like, well, what do you guys think? Is there anything wrong with the idea? But that was one of the few times I'm like, this is happening. And even Moose didn't have a say. And it's like, I guess I'm playing in your band now.
Well, you would kind of, just promised him, said, if you move back, you're going to be in my band.
Oh, yeah, I gave him a warning.
Yeah, so there was no ifs, ands, or buts, and you didn't have to check with these guys,
And he's done nothing but thrive in this
always
band.
Ask for forgiveness instead of permission. That's a good rule of life.
He's been a killer on these tracks on the EP coming up. He pretty much, one taked all of his tracks.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's ridiculous to watch.
Yeah. Now, I know that Mark allows a lot of people to still record some stuff in their homes and so forth. Did you do any of this album at home or in your home studios, or did you say, no, we got a studio we can go to?
We left that behind.
Yeah.
We recorded our whole first album by ourselves, our last EP by ourselves, and that EP was our breaking point. Like, we can't do this again. We're not going to make it another year as a band if we do it. And we wanted to go to a studio and give it to somebody who actually knew what they were doing, had proper mics, which Mark has plenty of.
He has an obsession
with things
with microphones.
It's crazy what all he has.
I thought I had gas. Acquisition syndrome. But that guy's got it just in microphones alone.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm recording on one that looks like it's from the 1940s. Like Winston Churchill probably made a speech on that thing. I'm sure of it.
Did it smell like a cigar?
After I was smoking in there,
Okay.
really.
Smoking, drinking. Yeah, that really sounds boring. So Boring is coming out tomorrow on Friday the 13th. Where will people find this?
Oh, man, everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere you could look for it. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, basically anywhere you nerds hang out at. That's where it's at.
All right. Where did the name Red Maker come from?
That one was... Man, it's kind of a long story.
That's okay. It's a podcast. We're not constrained.
I appreciate that. I'll go on and on then. I was a big fan of the movie The Warriors as a kid.
Okay.
Where it's all these different gangs and they all look cool as can be. They're all wearing matching outfits. They're all a bunch of badasses. And of course, as a kid, I'm like, all right, I'm going to start one of those too. And I probably got like 30 or 40 kids to join it. And at the time it was named Red Makers. And then, of course, I grew up and like, I was stupid. I'm not going to do that. And then we're fighting over a band name because I think we ended up booking a show before we even decided on a band name. And then we were rushing like, what about this? No, that's stupid. What about this? No, I hate it. What about this? Okay, I guess we'll do Red Maker. We'll do that for now until we change it. And so far, it's just stuck.
It's worked. All right. I have a standard question. Sometimes it becomes two questions. For all new guests in the studio. So let's start. I'm just going to go left to right. So, Sam, if you're not involved in entertainment, what do you like to be entertained by?
So I guess one of my major hobbies outside of music would be collecting and restoring old computers. Something I've always been interested in since high school, and it takes a lot of whatever I don't spend on drums and cymbals that I crack endlessly. Yeah, I just have towers of them, and maybe someday I'll fix them, and I don't know, let them collect more dust.
Kind of like Morgan with all the guitars.
Yeah.
So after you play Wimbledon, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of good intentions after that.
Any other hobbies besides that?
Not really. I like to bicycle for exercise. Like to snowboard when I can. Watch Star Trek. I don't know.
Collect Legos.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, his house is a palace of those things.
Really?
Yeah. So since Morgan brought it up, I do collect old Legos. A lot of the castle medieval stuff. Some Star Wars stuff. So
cool. No doubt about it. All right, Morgan, when you're not part of the entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
I'm pretty simple. I love old crappy horror movies. That's just been my thing. I love gory, cheesy, stupid dialogue. I just am entertained by that hours and hours on end. It comes from my dad, just the same as music does. And we even have a whole weekend in October that we do where it's the moment you wake up to the moment you're passing out. You're just watching horror movie after horror movie after horror movie and eating all sorts of junk and drinking as much as your stomach can bear. And that's been my pastime for a long time.
I know you are obviously younger than I am, but did you ever get the chance to watch Gilbert Gottfried host USA Up All Night?
No,
they had absolute cheese movies all the time. And I hope I get if I don't, forgive me, but it was always, and we now return to Sorority Babes at the Slime Ball Ballerama. You know that voice that he had.
Right up my alley.
Yeah, you'd love it. Yeah, I guarantee
I do that, and I watched a couple of Elvira host things of movies and stuff. She's always entertaining.
No doubt about that. All right. Any other hobbies then besides that?
Oh man, I'm a loser. Music and movies. That's all I got.
Typically, if somebody's got a job and they're doing music, not much time for other things. Yeah. That's kind of all throughout all of the arts in this area. We find that. All right, then, Mr. Kyle.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just kind of like a tinkerer. I don't really have a specific thing that I stick with. I know like the flavor of the week right now. I just bought some 3D printers, and doing some 3D printing, just kind of learn more about that. And I actually have a 6-month-old at home too. So that's kind of my entertainment.
I was just gonna say, you got a bit going on there, don't you?
Yep. He's a funny guy though. He's like super smiley, and he's just fun to be around and fun to watch.
Does he enjoy your music?
Yeah, so it's crazy. So we went to the Renaissance Festival the other day in Sioux Falls with the kiddo, and he's freaking out because it's windy. He doesn't like it, so. There's actually like a flute ensemble or whatever. This kid's like screaming. So I wheeled him over to the flute ensemble and just kind of set him by there, let him listen. Boom, silent. And he's just amazing. He's trying to figure out where this is all coming from. And he's just, he loves it. And then actually started learning to play the harmonica a little bit. So I'll play it in the car when I pick him up from daycare and stuff. And I got the little camera down there, and so you can see him smiling while you start to play a harmonica. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. Great stuff, guys. And Boring is great. And I'm looking forward to everybody else getting a chance to hear it. Actually, if they just stick to the end of the podcast today, they'll get a chance to hear it. Oh, yeah. And if not, then make sure that you get it downloaded from whatever site you enjoy the most, whether it be Apple or Spotify or the 8,000 other places you might be able to find it. And that's coming your way. All right. So, Redmaker, thank you all so much for being here. And tell Moose hello for me then, okay?
Okay, dude. Thanks a million, Dave.
And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get the extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony don't simply provide the service, they provide professional care for your hands and feet. Whether you just want the basics or you're looking for an extra special look with an added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails on Minnesota. Call for an appointment, 605-334-1463.
Once again, Dave Holly.
Thanks again to my great guests, Ben Van Moer and Kelsey Baade, and Morgn Harris, Sam DiVito, and Kyule Dowling. Thank you for not only listening, but for your support of local arts in the Sioux Empire. If you're a first-time listener, please go to DaveHollyHour.com. Every one of the now 279 episodes are available anytime, and we look forward to hearing from you as well. I encourage you to find your art. Find the art you enjoy. Find the art you're interested in trying. We shall see you in the arts. Coming up in just a few seconds, it's explicit, but it is the latest from Red Maker called Boring. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Art South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by Trio Jazz Club, Sioux Falls' premier jazz club, Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, Chasers Food and Spirits, Excel Chiropractic, Quality Nails, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. Stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. All episodes available anytime at DaveHollyHour.com. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.